Played in a lot of bands along the way, was on the road for quite a while back when I was younger. Played around, and then little by little the recording process was real interesting to me, and little by little I evolved into doing this. We've had WonderDog here for close to 15, 16 years. We've been doing this, and it's very, I guess you'd say, musician oriented. We're trying as hard as we can to make this be just totally musician friendly. It's all about the music, it's all about the songs. We try to make it feel good. We try to do it the right way. We try to be as helpful as we possibly can for everybody that comes in.
Would you lead me away, or would you push me in? Would you push me in?
I've been working with Mark over here for a little over 12 years now. Started working over here when I was about 15, 16. I had heard the Perpetual Groove record that had gotten quite a bit of exposure in the Southeast at the time, and we were all familiar with it, and that had been done over here.
Back in 2002, we had the pleasure working with Perpetual Groove, and we did their first album, Sweet Oblivious Antidote, and it turned out great. We had a blast. They're great guys. We had a lot of fun. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Homegrown Network's album of the year, and I think probably their bestseller to date. And it turned out great, and we were all just real happy with it. Had a real good time.
And worked through a youth apprenticeship program at my high school, and as soon as I, realized what was down here, fell in love with it, and hadn't been outside of a studio very much since then.
And along the way, we did Moonshine Still and Skydog Gypsy, a lot of bands at the time that were out and playing about. Along the way, we had Charlie Starr in working on some demo stuff with our friend Benji Shanks on guitar. They did some just fabulous acoustic stuff that we think sounds great. We worked in recent times. We did an album we just finished with the Bama Gamblers, some friends of ours, and we think it turned out well. We're real pleased with how that ended up.
As soon as I got over here and realized the other aspect of making music, being on the other side of the glass, that was very attractive to me, and learning how the music that we all know and love, how it's made, and trying to be a part of that.
We start obviously where we are now as the control room, kind of the flagship of everything, and then we've got in the back end of the studio there's 3 ISO booths. They're all treated differently. One we can typically use for vocals and things, but all of them are good for anything. We can put amps in them or really whatever we need. And then we have a big, large, our tracking room where we do the drums and whatnot, and also you can do anything in that room. It's tunable. We have panels that we can move back and forth. We can do all kind of things to change the way the room sounds. All the rooms sound a little different. That's just sort of, we kind of play that by ear each time and really just listen to what it is you're trying to do, and then we try to steer that particular thing into that particular room. And then we have what we call the magic room, which is behind the control room on the other side, where we have all our amps and guitars, and we typically record a lot of guitars in that room. It just sounds good for that. But once again, it's just a big ISO booth, and we can record anything in there.
I shot myself down in a haze of gunpowder and lead. I dream of drowning, but the well's gone dry instead.
Yeah, one thing, that we have that, among the things we try to, make available and stuff is we, through the years, I guess, put together some new equipment, and I've been, it's obvious, I've been collecting for quite a long time. And we've just got a lot of neat old analog gear. We do have Pro Tools and a lot of plug-ins that a lot of people use, and we can work in the box and do that, but I'm an old analog guy.
I went to college, studied at the recording arts program up at Appalachian State, and came back from school and I did another internship at another major studio in the Southeast in Georgia, and eventually just kept finding my way coming back to WonderDog. You know, I just felt like home over here.
We try to kind of have the best of both worlds, where we have digital and analog. We used to work strictly on tape. Now we've gone to Pro Tools, and nobody's asked me to work on tape in years. So we're kind of a Pro Tools deal.
Just seamless working with each other. You know, we've gotten to the point now over so much time where we can be in here working with a band, and it's like, you know, we're each other's set of hands. You know, he'll be doing one thing, setting up the band, and I'll be patching him in, and he's getting sounds, and I'm working with them on the arrangement or whatever it might be. You know, between the two of us, it's just seamless work.
We've got, you know, pretty much a great selection of preamps and EQs and compressors and stuff. And I think at last total, I think we've got about 60 mics. And we've got, you know, some really neat old classics. We've got a pair of U47s and a pair of 87s, and just, you know, different real good mics for all the different colors of the palette that we want to dial up. And we kind of feel like this stuff's important. They're all tone colors that we can use.
And you know, from day one over here, you know, the whole goal has always been the highest possible quality of sound and audio and music that we can put out.
Revival.